that many of you may have seen before, okay? I just want you to take a look at that. And on your sheet in front of you, on the back side there, you'll notice that you have the same picture. Obviously, it's in black and white, which is why we're showing you on the overhead. But you have the same picture, and you have a little table that says, I notice and I wonder. When you look at this picture, what do you notice and what do you wonder about it? Go ahead and take some time, a couple minutes here, and just write down some of those things.
So your I notices should be observations, and your I wonder should be questions. So make sure you write them in question form on the right hand side.
I want you guys to just, as a group, kind of discuss some of the things you put down. What did you notice, and what were some of the questions that you wanted to ask? And I wonder section.
And if anyone says something that they observed and then you see it after they say it, you can add it to your box. Or as a team, if you come up with a question that you didn't come up with by yourself, add it to your box.
As you talked with your groups there, what were some of the questions that you guys had? Let's share out a few. Raise your hand if you want to let us know. Emily.
Well, first, I kind of noticed that they got harder to see as they went on, so it kind of made me wonder what it was used for, to find, see, or tell, and how it was used specifically.
Got harder to see, huh?
The first, the 7 that you can see, you can hardly see it because the colors are so different.
Okay.
And the other ones, kind of the colors became more alike, so it's harder to see, it was really difficult. You could actually see what was inside of it.
Okay, so are we sure then if there's something else inside of those or not? You don't really know, maybe. Sophie?
I was wondering if this was an eye exam sheet, because I remember going through this to get my glasses.
Good, good.
I noticed that I can only see the first one, and then the other ones are just slashing the colors.
Kind of random.
Yes.
Hayden?
I noticed that's the two example classes too, but it was a lot more, it was the entire portfolio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a glasses test maybe on this. Okay, anything else? Okay, those are good thoughts, good questions.
So take a look at this picture real quick before we go to the next one, so you can kind of look and compare and think about this when you think of the next one that we show you.
You have one more, quick?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else does, but I saw it as 7, 5, 3.
Okay.
I did too.
All right, interesting. Okay. Let's see our next picture then. And you will be doing the same process for this one, okay?
What you notice, and then what you wonder. Make sure your wonder is in a question form.
If you guys need to come over here. Don't go in front of everybody, maybe. Try and kind of stand up here. Okay. So conversation's starting to happen a little bit, so let's go ahead and just move into the group process. Get with that same group and kind of discuss what you noticed, what you observed, some questions that came up. Add them to your list if it's new. Let's go ahead and get some share out on this. What'd you think? Hang on. Are we ready, boys? Pay attention, okay? Lily, go ahead. Second part, is that what you would see if you're colorblind? Okay?
I noticed the right side is more dull, but the yellow for me is brighter on the right side.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I see that. Good.
Do you have a question about that? Why do you think that is? No? Okay.
Emily?
I kind of noticed that they were the same picture, but they had different color lines placed over them. And so that made me wonder why or what the purpose was for doing that, like what it would show.
Okay. Just more of a generalized why did they do that for? Yeah, Lexi?
Maybe it's like a kind of colorblind for like you can only see certain shades for some.
Okay. Good thought. Did you guys talk about,
Seeing it on TV?
yeah,
Yeah.
why don't you elaborate on that for us a little bit?
What did you notice when you saw it on TV? You saw the
It's actually the darker one that was on the episode.
one to the right was on the episode, the dull one?
Yes.
Alrighty. We're done with this thing, right?
Yeah, because we can
Okay.
use your board.
Next thing that we're gonna do, I have written up a question that many of you I know have seen on the board. Okay. This question says, what causes color blindness? Your eyes or how your brain interprets what is being seen? Okay, wait, I should have another sheet for this, then we need to pass it.
It's on the back.
Oh yeah, flip your sheets over, my bad. Okay? First thing we wanted to do is write that question down.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do, up on the top there, and some of you keep in mind, there's not a ton of space, you might need to write a little smaller. Okay? Write down that question on the top there for me. On your sheet, please. Just copy it straight from up there. Give me your attention, please. Okay, now what you're gonna do, first thing I want you to do is keep in mind the pictures that we just looked at and some of the things you noticed and you wondered about those. Because you're gonna keep that, keep those things as a reference as you do the same I notice, I wonder for that question that you just wrote on your sheet. Okay? So based upon that question and based upon the things that you have seen up here and thought about, observed, give me some I notice and I wonder based upon that question. Okay? There's not a picture this time, but there is a question. So what do you notice?
You
What are
can
some
also put in
questions
the
that
I
arise to you?
noticed a combination of what you gathered from both the pictures and the question. Well, that's when you just have I wonder at least.
Yeah, or if you just have questions, yeah, just put them in the I wonder side.
One thing to think about is if our question's about colorblindness and we look at those pictures, which one do you think was a colorblind person's side? The dull one, and normal vision would be the. So if you have any questions about that too, if we know that colorblind is seeing the dull one and we're seeing the bright one, if we're not colorblind, what are some questions do you have about that?
How about we take some time with an elbow or a neighbor at your table pairs, and talk about this. And try and get some stuff down for us.
See if you can come up with some questions with the team.
Okay, I passed out some sticky notes. The questions that you've been coming up with as a group need to be transferred to these sticky notes. You need to have one question per sticky note, and each group needs to have at least 3. Now let's say Courtney came up with 2 awesome ones. You can use those too, but you still need to get one from somebody else, right? And if with a group of 4, I would think you guys could easily get 4 questions. Okay?
Well, he's
So at
saying
least
the
3.
minimum's 3, so if you have
Yeah.
more than 3, that's okay.
And you already talked a lot about this, so you should have some pretty good ideas of what you can put on these stickies. Like pick one.
Okay, you're gonna put down.
Yeah. Put yours on one for sure.
Actually, the second one.
Now we're gonna stick them up on the board. You guys are in section 1, which is on the left there, okay? Somebody raise your hand and read off the question that you have. Emily.
I don't say my background knowledge on, but it said, your brain takes what your eyes see, and guesses what it should see. So I wonder why your brain thinks this way.
So your question is basically, I wonder why you're colorblind. Okay,
But your question was focused on what the brain was doing, right?
okay. So go over That's more, see how we have a brain and an eye up there? So you would technically be more on the brain side. So put it up on the top left, and stick it up there. Who has something that they think relates to that? That's close to what she said. She said, she wondered how the brain interprets color blindness, basically. Okay? Anybody else have something about the brain? Go.
Because the brain, you have to think.
What's your sticky note? Does your sticky note relate to that one? Why don't you just read it to me?
Is it your brain because you have to think and look to understand things?
Yeah. Go ahead and stick that up next to Emily's. Anybody else close to that?
And if you think it's kind of the brain and the eye, you can kind of stick it in the middle.
Yeah. Okay. That's a more general. What causes color blindness? That might be more of a middle one. Mm-hmm. Okay, so go ahead and stick that up there. I have a feeling there are a bunch of people that have something close to that. If you have something close to that, what causes color blindness? Why don't you take it up and stick it next to Michael's right now? If you have one close to that, go stick it up. You guys definitely did. Michaela, what do you have? Hey, everybody hear that?
Yeah.
What she said. How do you know if you're colorblind? Right? That's a good question. Okay? So there's another one that really hard. So what you're gonna do is come over here, and I don't care what class it's from, right? I want you to look at all these questions. Pick one that you think is very interesting or one that you think we will do well with. Yes. And grab it, and I'll give you an index card, and I want you to research it. Do whatever you need to answer that question and write it out on the index card. Okay? And then after you're done with that, you're gonna come bring it to me, and we'll move on from there. Does that sound good? And then I'll get you a checklist, and then you can move through the rest of your stuff on the menu.
Can they also pick a question that they don't have to research if they think they can answer it from what you've done in class?
Yeah, sure. If you think you have enough knowledge already from things that we've learned, yeah, you can pick that and just write it up for that. Okay?
The question I chose was, do you stay colorblind forever? And I researched and I found out you do, unless you get special colorblind glasses that filter the light differently so you can see colors easier.
Okay, that's the, you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
That's if you're looking straight ahead, what can I see to the right? Like I'm looking at McGaffey and I can still see my white.
My question was, how does the eye/brain flip the image from what you see? And it turns out that the brain is responsible for the flip because it knows that your eyes are flipping the image, so it reverses it so that your right is your right and your left is your left. So, can you see just no color? You can, and it's called chromatopsia, and it's when people are fully colorblind, they only see shades of black, white, and gray.